Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
You're still looking good.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you're all having a fabulous afternoon on this beautiful Tuesday. Is it still the 22nd? I think it is. I didn't even look down. I don't even know. I don't have my watch on right now, so I'm not going to be able to tell you. Let's see. Yep, Thursday, July 22nd. Welcome back. We got a lot to talk about. Looks like Obama responded to all the stuff going on with the Russia hoax. We're going to definitely get into that. More stuff and people screaming for illegal aliens at the border. They're being treated so horribly. None of these people care about American citizens, and it shows. Some other breaking news we'll get into. And we got a lot to talk about. Thank you for joining us for show 2 today. We appreciate you. If you would, please hit that like button. It helps us out. It helps us out tremendously, and we appreciate you. Let me jump in here. Rob Wallace is in the house. Hello, Rob Wallace. Susan K. Spencer. Trina made it in. Hello, Trina. Let's see who else we got. We got Hunter. Let's see, Nola, Pixie. So you guys cuss. That's $5 in the cuss jar. Pixie is our cuss jar monitor. Let's see who else. See, Marsha's in the house. Let's see. Jay keeps asking. Let me go down a little. Texas Bigfoot. Keep going down. Jan Garner's in the house. Let me get all the way down. And Sansia made it in. How are you, Sansia? Matt, First Minute Media. A long day at work today. Man, this guy's already crying. Longest 4 hours of his life. They sent him home because he didn't even know how to tie his shoe. But welcome. I am not the milkman's in the house. Says rest in peace, Ozzy. That's actually our first story of the day. This is from the Ozzy Osbourne account. It's with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family's privacy at this time. Sharon, Jack, Kelly, Amy, and Lewis. Man, I think a lot of us didn't think he was going to make it this far. This guy partied back in the day, but he was a living legend when it came to his music and his performances. How he continued to go. He just did a performance, his farewell tour, like 2-3 weeks ago. And so rest in peace, prayers to his family. What an iconic thing when you think about it. Man, so many great classics. Really an icon of his time. Really a leader in that type of, in his specific genre. So prayers to their family. And man, that is some wild stuff. Wild stuff. Didn't expect to hear that today. Hey, I check out this video. We showed you a motorcycle wreck yesterday where the guy was doing 134 miles an hour in a police chase, hit a car in the middle of the night on the freeway, got up and walked away. This one here, is kind of a heartwarming story, if you will. But let me show you this right here. It's not heartwarming when you see the crash. And let me actually clear this off so you can see the whole thing here. Check this out. Look at this motorcycle coming in. Oh, little fast right there. He's up. He's up. But he's hurt.
The fuck, dude? Are you okay? Damn, lay down. Lay down.
He said, "What the F, dude? Are you okay?" I'm sure that scared the you know what out of that family. Like, what just happened? Oh, come on. Okay, go, go, go. But that person, part of the story was he survived. Now it wants to play. He reportedly had to be life flighted. It says right here from at Bubble Bath Girl, with a cracked rib, a punctured lung, and a broken clavicle. After being released, he stopped by to thank the property owners to help saving his life. That's man, count your blessings, right? He was coming around that corner hard. Ooh-wee. I've been in a couple motorcycle wrecks and it's crazy. Check this out. This kind of got a weird ending to it that I don't think a whole lot of people expect. So there was another police chase. There's police chases in LA all the time. This one was a couple hours ago, I believe. And just watch this. Give you guys some viewing pleasure, but watch when he gets out.
Of course, now we have somebody who's driving a little crazy, a little public.
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about an epicenter of Los Angeles tourism right there. He was right at the boardwalk or the pier, making a U-turn onto the curb around that box truck. It makes you so concerned for those people, tourists and locals as well.
There would be an unwise move.
We recently saw that within the last year in Newport Beach, where a driver drove onto the Newport Beach pier. It ended in gunshots, and that suspect, I believe, was killed in that case. This guy's now come to a
sign.
And he's got a dog.
Dog.
Wow. Bruce, he's getting out. Hands are up. Does not appear to be armed. This is perhaps the best outcome that we could see.
Yeah, it really is. And
yeah, very much so. Yeah. Sorry, Colleen.
No.
It's with about when they would decide to pull back, and clearly they did not do that.
Yeah, a vicious dog. But if it were a vicious, very protective.
So dog had to get out, and after all that crazy driving, dog's like, I got to take a leak. But good it ended like it did, I guess. But I don't think many people expected to see a guy pull a dog out on a leash. And I just wanted to, I seen this going around X, and I just wanted to show you some of the insanity, some of the people that are absolutely insane, if you will. This guy's going around, and he was asking some folks about socialism, if that'll fix New York City and New York City. And listen to what this lady says right here.
Could we ask you, do you think socialism is going to work in New York City?
Yes.
Why?
What is your definition?
We're on Mamdani's socialism. Do you think if he wins, New York will be a better city?
Oh, definitely.
What do you think he's going to do that's going to make it better?
Lower rents.
He's going to fix rents. Do you think that might have a negative effect possibly? Or
Probably could, but my material conditions would be better. So I'm voting for what would help me.
Where else has socialism worked that you want to emulate?
Vietnam.
You think New York City, if it was more like Vietnam, is it actually a communist country?
I would say Vietnam, China. See, New York is a very dense city. Therefore, we have to look at Asia, who is doing better at density than we are here. So these roads are horrible. The trains, not that great here. All of those things are so much better in most Asian countries.
Do you think one of his critiques against him is that rich people are going to leave New York if their taxes go up? Are you worried about that?
No, I don't think so.
You think they'll just stay here and keep getting taxed more? Or you think they'll leave to like Florida or Texas possibly?
Florida is going to be underwater because of climate change, and Texas already has natural disasters, so no.
That's hilarious. We know that New York City is its own natural disaster. You have, I'm sure the likelihood of experiencing a natural disaster is much higher than the likelihood of being robbed, mugged, or raped in New York. That's what we're up against. Here's another one. Here's another one that's very similar to that person just speaking. We've covered the Colbert thing, the late night show, and we covered it again today on the first show, but I missed one of Matt's favorite shows. And, being the fact that Colbert show had, I believe it was close to $100 million a year budget, and they were losing $40 million a year, and they had to cancel them. That means the Constitution is being dismantled. Don't believe me? Listen here.
Concern is, if it is political, then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned, because it's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right? And so the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason, and that is freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to speak truth to power. If that is taken away, if the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled. Right. That means the very rubric of our democracy is being dismantled.
She never said anything about folks like me being canceled off YouTube because I'm showing you actual terrorists come in our southern border. But it was an election year. We needed Biden to win, or Kamala. You can't do this. Never did she say one thing about the Twitter files. But because a big company made a decision, they want to stop losing $40 million a year. There's a constitutional crisis going on. You seriously can't make this stuff up. This is what we are up against. This is I don't know. It's beyond libtard. It's beyond libtard. It's almost like they have nothing to say that's relevant. Not that they ever did say anything that was relevant, but they have nothing to say that is relevant. So they just spit out these political talking points. The only thing's political about the whole thing is what the left is turning it into. Literally, there's investigations. Nobody cared on the left when Tucker was let go of Fox News. Nobody. How about this? We know we just defunded NPR and PBS, and it's excellent. They're asking for donations. They say they're going to be there regardless of the money, which we told you they probably would, because there's going to be a lot of left-leaning outlets that donate to them. And again, they didn't need our tax dollars in the first place. Breaking: NPR's editor-in-chief has resigned after President Trump pulled $500 million in funding to her propaganda outlet. Bye-bye. Have fun. Have fun. That's just more good news. More good news. It's like we're constantly winning. And you guys know that we had that the flooding over in Texas that we covered a couple weeks ago. Just absolutely sad. The Christian camp, the children that had died. I think they're still trying to recover bodies. Very similar to like when we were in, was it North Carolina? They were finding bodies quite a distance from the actual time it happened. And I seen True Texas Project posted this. This is in Washington, D.C. And I want to give you their caption because it's actually true. It says, these are not the parents of the victims at Camp Mystic, by the way. These are activists using the death of 27 kids in Texas for their agenda. They should be ashamed. It's crazy. There is no low too low for Democrats. And we've seen that time and time again. Now we got some more propaganda going around. We talked about the beef price thing, and we showed you the actual numbers, showed you how much it raised under Biden and how you didn't hear any Democrat talk about it. Raised much more under Biden. Went and told you it wasn't because of tariffs, wasn't because of Trump's policies. But he will work on it and get beef prices down. That's for sure. But Governor Gavin Newsom, this is funny. We actually covered this last year when it was back to school time. You heard me say plenty of times with Bidenflation, parents are truly deciding food on the table, or back to school clothes, a backpack, whatever it is. And now Governor Newsom is trying to make you believe that somehow these are Trump's policies that caused this. No parent should have to choose between dinner and a backpack, but Trump policies are forcing that choice. Now, I don't know. Again, I go grocery shopping. My grocery bill is, in some cases, actually less than it was on January 20th and Inauguration Day. And I haven't looked at the cost of backpacks, but I'm almost positive they're the same price as they were last. Let me actually, let's see. Let's see if we have something. I don't even know if they... Backpacks for school. See what we got. Let's go to shopping. Not looking for North Face or LL Bean, just a regular backpack. Let's see. Man, they're putting the high-end backpacks up here. Let's see. This is Target, Walmart. So Target has one. Bent Go kids school backpack. Let me put this up on the screen here. $29.50. An eSport multi-pocket travel backpack, $21.75. You got a little monster like me that's going to pre-K in like 4 weeks. You got the Skip Hop Sesame Street little kid backpack. Your typical Jan Sports, $40. eSport Core everyday backpack, $19 at Walmart. So I wonder what Gavin's talking about. I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the propaganda, the talking points. We want people to believe that everything's unaffordable because of Trump, when we know Bidenflation, the Inflation Reduction Act, raised some of our prices 46, even higher than 46%. How about this one? Check out Ron. Ron's over here with some propaganda. Let's see. Let me move this over. There we go. Let's put it up like this so you guys... 6 months into Donald Trump's presidency, and parents are having to choose between taking out a loan or letting their families go hungry just so they can buy school supplies. Now, I ain't going to lie. This is an issue. And every time Trump tries to put in one of his policies that he was elected to do, you see a lawsuit, you see a delay, and whatever obstruction from the Democrats. They don't want his policies to take effect so that we actually see the Bidenflation, that we see the Trump economy come through. And they're getting it in there slowly. But once again, this is what they want for the midterms. They want to say, oh my God, I needed a pizza last week. I had to pull out a loan. Went to Bank of America, got me a $28.99 loan, and that was the only way my family survived. This is what the Democrats, this is where they're putting all their weight right now. And again, yesterday we covered the beef prices. And I'm surprised today they're still not pushing the beef prices, but I think so many countered with real news, showing them the graph that, what was it? It's been going up for 20 years or something like that. I even saved a CBS article on the beef. Let me see if I can pull that up right now, because it was kind of fair. Usually they're not that fair. Let me see if CBS pops up when I do this. So this was 22 hours ago, and I'll pull up the article for you guys. It says beef prices in the U.S. are searingly high. Here's why, and listen to their explanation. It says soaring U.S. beef prices are hitting consumers in the wallet and raising costs for restaurants. It says anybody should be able to afford a burger, said Andrew Shipper, the managing partner at Hamburger America in New York City. It's never been an expensive item historically, yet the restaurant may be forced to raise the price of his burgers, which start at $7.50. We're very focused on trying to charge the least amount we feel comfortable doing, he added. But obviously, if prices go up, we have to raise prices. Listen to this. The cost of beef reached $5.98 a pound in May. According to the Federal Reserve data, the highest since the Department of Labor started tracking beef prices in the 1980s. That rise hasn't come overnight. Ground beef costs have increased 45% in the last 10 years, compared with roughly 30% for all the overall consumer price index. Overall food prices have eased since surging. Let's go down here. So what accounts for higher beef prices? The answer largely comes down to simple economics, with demand outstripping supply. It says that has resulted in higher costs throughout the supply chain, including for meat processing companies, the restaurant industry, and consumers. So they're basing the increase on supply and demand, which I'm sure that's probably a good percentage of it. There's other stuff too. There's regulations. There's a whole lot of stuff, especially if you're in California, that raises the price of any food. That's it's just horrible. But again, I haven't seen the talking points come out today. Now we're going to talk about a viral video going around. I believe this was in Jacksonville. A guy was pulled over, didn't follow police officers. He was recording. And of course, the only video that's getting out there is the one the guy was recording after he already refused to get out of the vehicle. But we'll get into that in a minute. Why don't you take a look? This is after he asked to be a supervisor, and he's talking through his, I guess, passenger window to an officer.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all, and then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up? Huh? Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor? Huh? Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right.
Get on the ground. No, don't.
Get on the ground.
Stop fighting.
Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. What's wrong with you?
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
I'm fucking talking shit, bro. I was doing it, bro. What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
No, bro.
Yes, bro.
You
Yes.
have a lawful reason, bro.
Big knife center right here, too.
You gonna throw me ball like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off of you, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro.
That's not how it works.
Too late.
It ain't no too late.
When they asked you to step out of the vehicle, you should have done that shit.
So your partner didn't even ask.
Marijuana in his right pocket.
He says, your partner didn't even ask me to step out. You hear that?
So why close the door if you see him pull up?
Because, man, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, bro. I didn't do nothing.
It's called resisting, idiot.
I didn't do nothing wrong, sir. Can you back me up to the car so I can lean up?
So just to give you guys an idea, I got pulled over about 6 weeks ago. It didn't end like this. My window works. Now his window's open, so he won't have that problem anymore. And cops asked to see my license and registration. It was a issue with the registration on the black car before I sold it, and I was on my way. Didn't argue with him. Told him to have a safe day. And that was it. Well, this is going around right now, and you got all the race baiters out there, even though there's black cops involved. You have all these race baiters out there. Once again, when an officer tells you to step out of the car, just follow the orders. It's that simple. He wanted to be a hero. He wanted to be a hero. You could see it with the recording. And let me show you how that all started. And thank God for body cam and everything else. Take a listen to this.
You don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
So when the officer gets out of his car, he walks up and the gentleman opens his door. Take a look.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
License, registration, and proof of insurance. He already gave 2 reasons for the stop and was on his way to a third. No seatbelt, no lights during inclement weather, and he was interrupted for the third thing. Think about this.
Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
27, 35. I'm cooperating with the driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle.
That is a lawful order when cops give that to you.
25 seconds. If they're not informed, the driver just slammed the door and locked it. Yep.
He's asking again, what's the reason for pulling me over? He's already got 2 out of the 3 reasons, and it would have been much easier if he would have just complied.
25 seconds. If anybody responded, come in from Commonwealth, block the vehicle, please. Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. My camera's on too. I've already told you. Okay. Okay. Right now you're under arrest for resisting. You understand? You're under arrest for resisting. The longer you take us.
Told him he's under arrest.
The worse it's going to be. Okay. Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window.
The warning that they're going to break the window, but he wanted to play poor me. He was like, I've watched Al Sharpton before. Watch me.
Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. No, he's under arrest. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. I'm about to break the window. All right, go for it. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands. Here.
1033 at 16.1 hours.
What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now. No, don't forget. Get on the ground.
They tell him to get on the ground. He says, no. Once again, there's a lot of these videos we show where officers are in the wrong. This one right here, this was made to be a political stunt. Trump's in office. They need this race baiting. They need to show what Trump's law enforcement is doing. And he thought he was going to become the next millionaire.
Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. What's wrong with you?
What do you mean? I was putting my hands behind my back.
Everything that he complained about, he is lying about right there on video. You didn't tell me why you were pulling me over. Well, you had a couple reasons you got pulled over. 2 out of the 3 were stated before you interrupted. Then he tells you to open the door that you're under arrest. You didn't do that. He breaks the window. Now, if anybody has a problem with this is how law enforcement works. It's pretty simple. I've been pulled over 100 times, never had them break my window. I got pulled over for times that I didn't feel I deserved to be pulled over for. I got pulled over when I felt I was being harassed, when we go to these protests in leftist areas and the police want to kick MAGA out. We've been pulled over where they go with a fine-tooth comb trying to find a reason to write a ticket. Trust me. But guess what? I'll live to not have to pay for another window or make myself look like a fool there and fight another day. It's just interesting. So there's been all the original video we showed you edited to make it look like somehow police did something wrong. And then I seen this today. Sheriff Waters of Jacksonville says Anthony Mike McNeil Jr., a 22-year-old, caused police to react the way they did and accused McNeil of trying to set the public against law enforcement. Take a look at this here. Great statement, too.
Social media is not reality. One video clip, devoid of context, can be very misleading. Given that McNeil never brought this incident to JSO's attention, but rather pushed the cell phone camera footage that he had in his possession since March 5th, I don't see.
Since March 5th.
Social media, one can only assume, and I'm saying I assume, that he intended to inflame the public. The administrative process is still ongoing, and as such, I will neither defend nor commend Officer Bauer's response to resistance until all the facts are known and the investigation is completed. However, as the leader of this agency, I will not remain silent while important facts and information are buried to advance an anti-police agenda. The truth is, William McNeil Jr. was non-compliant with JSO officers within 21 seconds after he was stopped for multiple civil infractions. His non-compliance quickly rose to the level of criminal resistance to a police officer. McNeil was arrested and pled guilty to resisting a police officer without violence. Force absolutely looks ugly. And because all force is ugly, whether or not the officer involved acted within outside JSO policy, that's still what we're investigating.
Again, that's the only thing they have to go on is to make sure that it followed their policies and procedures. And police departments have different ones. But I can promise you that happened that long ago, and he's putting a video out now after he's already pled guilty to resisting an officer. Again, it was poor me. Where's Ben Crump? Where's Ben Chump when you need him? President Obama released a statement after all this stuff we've been covering that Tulsi Gabbard has released when it comes to the Russia hoax. The sham witch hunt how they went after Trump, pushed a lot of false narratives. Let me pull that up for you. This is it here.
For President Obama goes on to say this.
This is one of his staffers' response on behalf of Obama. Take a listen.
Respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response, but these claims are outrageous and bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. And the spokesman for President Obama goes on to say this: nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes. These findings were affirmed in a 2020 report by the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee led by then Chairman Marco Rubio, who is, of course, now President Trump's Secretary of State.
So that was that. Again, we don't know if we're going to see anything out of it, but listen to Tulsi Gabbard here.
It's the art of deflection.
Again, I think people like Obama, people like most of the Democrats, and this has been true. They are above the law. Whether it's Adam Schiff, whether it's Hillary Clinton with the bleach bit and the hammers, destroying evidence and never serving a day in jail. I think they feel like there's never going to be accountability. I think some of us feel like there's never going to be accountability. Take a listen.
Your response to what we heard from former President Obama there. He's saying that none of this makes any sense, that this is a distraction. What do you say to that?
It's the art of deflection coming from former President Obama, as well as his friends who are still in Congress today, and Senator Warner and Congressman Jim Himes, really all basically saying that exact same statement, which doesn't actually address the issue that was revealed in great detail in the over 100 documents that we released last week and the documents that we will be releasing later this week that point to the undeniable fact that you laid out in your introduction to this segment, is that the intelligence community had one assessment, that Russia did not have the intent or capability to try to impact the outcome of the U.S. election leading up to Election Day. The same assessment was made after Donald Trump was elected by the American people as president in 2016, defeating Hillary Clinton. And it wasn't until after that pulled President's Daily Brief document that you referenced that the Principals Committee was called in the National Security Council, and President Obama then directed Obama's DNI James Clapper to lead the effort to create this new intelligence community assessment that detailed not if, but how Moscow attempted to influence the outcome of the U.S. election. So this is the thing that I think people should pay attention to, is neither the message from President Obama's office, neither the statements coming from Democrats in Congress today and their friends in the propaganda media. None of them are addressing this fact that there was a shift, a 180-degree shift from the intelligence community's assessment leading up to the election to the one that President Obama directed be produced after Donald Trump won the election, that completely contradicted those assessments that had come previously. The second thing I want to address that's very important, Laura, is that you in the clip that you played, you saw John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey stated with high confidence this January intelligence community assessment that they drafted at the direction of President Obama. The fact is that they used already discredited information like the Steele dossier. They knew it was discredited at that time, yet they used it as a source for this document that they claim to have high confidence in. They used intelligence that some of these intelligence community professionals rejected previously because of the lack of credibility and the lack of the ability to vet with any kind of confidence whether or not that information or intelligence was accurate and could be used for an assessment. There's a long laundry list of facts and intelligence reporting that directly contradict the statement coming from President Obama's office and those who are coming from President Obama's office and those who are trying to deflect away from what actually happened, which was after Donald Trump was elected. Led by President Obama, there was an effort to create a document that would serve as a foundation for what would be a years-long coup against President Trump, therefore trying to subvert the will of the American people who sent him to the White House in 2016.
Man, beautifully stated. Beautifully stated. Once again, they're going to be pushing their propaganda. They're going to be bringing up Epstein. They're going to be bringing up all this other stuff. And hats off to Tulsi Gabbard. She is doing a phenomenal job right now. And she said more documents are going to be released at the end of this week. I can't wait to see those. They are busy. And this was one of Trump's big things. If we don't have accountability for anything that happened, we knew they were trying a coup on President Trump. We covered it daily. The fake news, the fake dossier, the actual Russia and the DNC collusion. And they twisted that and made it look like it was President Trump in the news. I played that article earlier, the video earlier that showed. And then the fake stream, the lazy media that's just an arm of the Democrat Party, came out time after time again and said that Russia had interfered with the election. If it wasn't for Russia, Trump wouldn't have been elected. I mean, this is what the American people knew because of Obama. This is what they knew. The lies, the propaganda, and I can't wait to hear what else is coming out this week. And who remembers this traitor?
One final question. Can you look right into the camera?
Tucker was on Fox News, and just look at this weasel. I mean, he's probably one of the biggest weasels. He was in Congress. Now he's a senator. Take a listen to this and how he tries to escape from answering a question.
You're on the Intel Committee. Let me just ask you one final question. Can you look right into the camera and say, I know for a fact the government of Vladimir Putin was behind the hacks of John Podesta's email?
Absolutely. The government of Vladimir Putin was behind the hacks of our institution and the dumping of information.
Of John Podesta's email.
Not only in the United States, but also in Europe.
Okay, you're not, you know what, you're dodging.
And Tucker,
look and say, I know they did. John Podesta's emails, they hacked those.
And I think that Ronald Reagan will be rolling over his grave. You're carrying water for the Kremlin.
I'm not carrying water for the you're a sitting member of Congress on the Intel Committee, and you can't say they hacked.
You're gonna have to move your show to RT Russian television because
you know what?
This
That's
is perfect.
Just so beneath your office because it's so dumb and you're being duplicitous. I'm asking you, did they hack Podesta's emails? And you can't say it.
Personal insults like that, Tucker.
You just said I was carrying. You said I was carrying water for Putin. That's pretty hilarious.
You know, when you essentially are an apologist for the Kremlin, that's what you're doing.
I'm going to one last time, Congressman. Look into the camera and say they hacked John Podesta's emails. We know for a fact that Putin's government did that. You can't, and you know you can't, and you're hiding behind weasel words.
I just said that
say they hacked John Podesta's emails.
Russians. I'm not going to be specific as.
Oh, because you don't know it. That's why. All right, done. One. You don't know it, and you're alleging it without any evidence. And
you're ignoring the evidence because you don't care. The fact that it helped the Republican candidate is all you need to know.
That's totally false. I just think if you're going to make a serious allegation about an actual country with an actual government, you ought to know what you're talking about, and you don't.
I think that you ought to accept.
I got to go. I'm taking cash from Putin now. I'm on RT.
Republicans on the Intelligence Committee have seen for a fact.
If you could say it, you would, and you can't. And you know that.
If you're willing to be in denial about this because it suits a Republican-elected president.
Okay, whatever. You can blather on all you want, man, but I gave you a chance to state it clearly, and you wouldn't, which tells you everything you know. All right.
Or a president. Okay. Not very much, apparently.
I appreciate that, Congressman. And now I need to take a call from Vladimir Putin, so I'm going to put you on hold for 1 second, do this tease. Some of the electors who will pick the president in 2 weeks are receiving death.
Oh, my God. What a weasel. What a slimy little bastard. It's just insane. It's just insane what we went through. I'm seeing all these old videos because we don't, obviously, it's not in today's media, but I'm going back and looking at some of the old stuff like that. And Tucker's just fabulous when it comes to this stuff. The way he keeps his composure and knows how to call him out. He says, just look in the camera and tell him, because again, there was so many lies. Remember when Adam Schiff came out and said there is overwhelming evidence that Trump colluded with Russia? We have that evidence, and it never came out. Remember that? It was actually the DNC. It was actually his party. And I hope they are all locked up. Like, I want to see that little bastard behind bars more than almost anybody else. I'd rather see him behind bars than Obama. You know, listen to Scott Jennings here just take on the panel at CNN. Just, he demolishes them every day. But he calls out what we call out in the fact, oh, Trump's losing his base. Trump's losing his base and all this. And he's like, no, they're not. His base is still there. They're not a one issue base. They voted for secure borders, for deportations, all these other things, and he's accomplishing that. Just listen to this.
I mean, I think this could.
I was there. Listen, it's two things can be true at the same time. You can have frustration over an issue, but at the same time be enormously happy with everything Donald Trump has done, because everything he's done is what he said he was going to do. And there's not a shred of polling evidence. There's not a shred of polling evidence. He's at historic numbers among his own people. And there's a narrative this has been the fantasy of Democrats for 6 months. Oh, they're going to regret it. They're going to buyer's remorse. It's not true. They love the president, and they love him even more today than they did a few weeks ago.
But it's also true that the unshakable, rock-solid nature of his base has been the thing that has been the foundation of his political success through turbulent moments when people were saying, oh, this is the end of Donald Trump. It was the fact that his base was absolutely unmoved by any argument against him. And that's just not the case here. You've got the tip of the MAGA spear on Twitter calling him out.
You and I read the same polling.
Saying that he's not. I agree with you that the polling right now does not look like it's taking the hit. I think this is a different moment for Trump, though, because you see leadership, vocal leadership in the MAGA movement calling him out directly in a way that they never have the entire time he's been on the national stage. And I think that's different. That is different.
It strikes me as different for all, because you said, well, this has been their dream for the last 6 months. I mean, it's been Democrats' dream for the last 10 years that, like, oh, everyone's going to, he's insulted John McCain, right? That was back in 2015. Nothing happened. Nothing has gotten to the base.
You
the base of Trump.
You just raised the key point. Democrats didn't care about this until 5 minutes ago. They did nothing. Biden did nothing to do anything about this until they thought it could be used as a political weapon against Trump. There's no sincerity here.
Yeah, but
about
they also
Epstein or the victims.
Maxwell,
It's just politics.
Maxwell was appealing her case.
Just
Democrats were not
politics.
campaigning on the idea that we were going to make these documents public. That was your
you
guy.
are- but you
that was
are
your
now.
guy. That was your
Once again,
the deep state. I mean, I think this could.
Democrats want more than anything else to try to tear up the MAGA party. And again, we know those that have been there and have been covering Trump and supporting Trump since day one. We've seen so many lies. Oh, here comes another book. He's done for now. Oh my God, this person worked for him 13 years ago and said this. Oh my gosh, I'm sure he's going to get impeached. And we just sit back and laugh. Keep wasting your time. The party of obstruction. The party of obstruction. And actually, I thought this was interesting. We're not going to cover a whole lot of this, but I did want to play it because I think it's relevant to today, especially after that one. Listen, this is Epstein accuser speaks out in first TV interview since suing the government. Take a listen to this. You also have the attorney that have seen the files.
Absolutely. We know that Donald Trump spent a good deal of time with Jeffrey Epstein in a variety of locations. We know that his name appears on the flight log manifests of Jeffrey Epstein when Epstein was traveling from various locations here in the United States to other locations around the world. We know from the testimony of young women also on those airplanes what was going on during those flights. Now, I don't have information that ties Donald Trump directly to those abuses of children, but it would.
But I don't have information. I don't have information that ties. That's a partner at a law firm who represented the 20 women against Jeffrey Epstein. The 20 women that had sued Jeffrey Epstein admits, I don't have the information that ties Donald Trump directly to the abuse of those children. Wow. I'm surprised CNN even aired it. How about this one right here? Federal judges in New Jersey have refused to extend Aliba Hanna's tenure as interim U.S. attorney for New Jersey. The bunch of leftist activist judges seem to be a little nervous about having Alina Habba out there. Take a listen, if it'll pop up.
Back to the White House soon. Federal judges in the District of New Jersey have declined to extend Alina Habba's appointment as interim U.S. attorney. President Trump. On March the 24th, interim U.S. attorneys are only allowed to serve for 120 days if they are not either confirmed by the U.S. Senate or extended indefinitely by the district court in their jurisdiction.
So they want her out of there. And one of the issues I do have is, I think I brought this up. This is one of those things that can be quite frustrating. Donald Trump has picked 356 nominees to fill key roles in his administration so far. Only 94 has been confirmed. So what John Thune and the Senate needs to do is not take a recess and confirm the other 262 nominees immediately. This should be a no-brainer. That is crazy. 356 nominees, 262 that are still being considered by the Senate. Get in there, vote them in, and do your job. How about this right here? It's a great honor to announce our trade agreement with the Republic of Indonesia, as represented by their highly respected President Prabowo Subianto. It is agreed that Indonesia will open markets to American industrial and tech products and agriculture goods by eliminating 99% of their tariff barriers. The United States of America will now sell American-made products into Indonesia at a tariff rate of 0, while Indonesia will pay 19% on all of their products coming into the USA, the best market in the world. In addition, Indonesia will supply the United States with their precious critical minerals, as well as sign big deals worth tens of billions of dollars to purchase Boeing aircraft, American product, and American energy. This deal is a huge win for our automakers, tech companies, workers, farmers, ranchers, and manufacturers. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And there's more coming in the next week or two. There's some wins. Speaking of wins, we got another one right here. And it says, breaking news, we have just achieved a big and important win in our historic lawsuit against 60 Minutes, CBS, and Paramount. Just like ABC and George Slopadopoulos, CBS and its corporate owners knew that they defrauded the American people and were desperate to settle. Paramount, CBS, and 60 Minutes have today paid $16 million in settlement, and we also anticipate receiving $20 million more from the new owners in advertising, PSAs, or similar programming for a total of over $36 million. This is just another long line of victories over the fake news media, who we are holding to account for their widespread fraud and deceit. The Wall Street Journal, the failing New York Times, and Washington Post, MSDNC, CNN, and all other mainstream media liars are on notice that the days of being allowed to deceive the American people are over. Make America great again. Of course, it's funny when you see the leftist reaction to this. He's silencing the First Amendment. The First Amendment doesn't give you the right to slander, lie, or give deceit. Just to let you know, there is, remember when we were saying we wanted a border wall and we were called Nazis, and we said, hey, we have free speech. You don't have freedom of consequence. We're going to get you fired from your job. Well, there's a consequence to spreading fraud and deceit, and you can take it to court and you can win. If more of us had money, more of us would be winning. So that's just another win in today's Tuesday afternoon episode. Another one, the U.S. Olympics and Paralympics Committee has officially banned men from women's sports. Now, they use the term transgender women, but we know there's no such thing as a transgender woman. What they have banned is men parading around as a woman, and that has been banned. Thank you to the pressure from the Trump administration. Thank you. I mean, we have seen so many wins. These wins don't even get counted when we talk about all these wins. It's the little steps. And then you have states like California that are still putting boys and girls sports in the high schools, in the junior highs, putting boys in the girls' locker rooms, playing this mental illness game, this lie, and acting like lie could be truth. But you have the U.S. Olympic team, our U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. So maybe this will also raise some eyebrows at some of these states, I think Maine, California, that are fighting this and want to continue erasing women's sports. And hopefully we can stand up and fight for our women, our little girls, and do what's right. More winning today. We talk about Maha, Make America Healthy Again. We'll take a listen to this. This is just more good news, and we have two clips on this, I think. Another one coming up.
Breaking today, some of America's biggest brands are backing the Making America Healthy Again movement. The Consumer Brands Association includes all the big brands like Coca-Cola and Target, pledging to eliminate synthetic food dyes by the end of 2027. Breaking today.
Again, the Democrats don't even consider this a win. I mean, literally, they're out there on the corner of Blackstone and Nice injecting these artificial food dyes in their veins because Trump says they're bad. This is where we're at in this country. This is absolutely where we are at in this country. And then how about this one? This was from Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary Kennedy. And check that out. Fruit Loops is finally following its nose towards common sense, thanks to the many parents who spoke out and pressured Kellogg's U.S. to remove harmful food dyes from its products. I urge more companies to step up and join the movement to make America healthy again. And this was a Maha win. Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks to cut synthetic dyes by 2027. The long-term effects on this are going to be huge. The long-term effects on this. Again, it says by the end of 2027. It doesn't happen overnight, but the long-term effects are going to be huge. And again, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about these three. How about this one over here? Let's pull this up and let you see another win.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary, and I'm here today with NIH Dr. Jay Bhattacharya and FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary. I couldn't be more pleased to announce that as of today, the COVID vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC recommended immunization schedule. Last year, the Biden administration urged healthy children to get yet another COVID shot despite the lack of any clinical data to support the repeat booster strategy in children.
That ends today. It's common sense and it's good science.
There's no evidence healthy kids need it today, and most countries have stopped recommending it for children.
We're now one step closer to realizing President Trump's promise to make America healthy again.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Little steps, guys.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
We're not going to get everything overnight. Remember, in order to eat an apple, you got to take it bite by bite, and that's what we're doing. We're taking it bite by bite, and just more wins, more promises made, promises kept. I just love this. I just love this. And as we get into this immigration front, I seen this this article here. It was by Libs of TikTok. And it said, Colorado deputy placed on leave and sued by the AG for aiding ICE. Colorado AG Phil Weiser is suing a deputy who shared information leading to a woman's ICE arrest. It says Caroline Diaz Goncalves was arrested by ICE shortly after she was pulled over by Deputy Alexander Zwinnick for a driving violation. AG Weiser said it's the first lawsuit under Colorado law prohibiting state and local law enforcement from asking people about their immigration status. Deputy Zwink was placed on paid leave. So now you have Attorney General of Colorado going after their law enforcement for doing a job that they should all be doing. Again, Trump will go after these sanctuary states, these sanctuary cities, and deplete them of all funds. You just wait and see, and you wait and see the lawsuits. They're already starting again. But this is just sad. This is just sad. And I wanted to bring that to you. Maybe this guy starts a Give, Send, Go, and people will donate to him because he did the right thing there. How about this one? How about this guy? Take a look at this one. If you guys remember, Mahmoud Khalil, who, because of activist judges, is still here in the United States. Take a listen to this. Take a listen to this.
Just to be clear here, though, do you specifically condemn Hamas, a designated terrorist organization in the United States, not just for their actions on October 7th?
I condemn the killing of all civilians, full stop. But what I don't want to get into is no, I am very clear with condemning all civilians. I'm very straight in my position in that part. But it's disingenuous to ask about condemning Hamas while Palestinians are the ones being starved now by Israel. It's not condemning October 6th, where 260 Palestinians were killed by Israel on before October 7. So I hate this selective outrage of condemnation, because this is not, this wouldn't lead to a constructive conversation. And this is also like what we want to deal with is the root causes of why that happened. And it's in no way anyone can justify the killing of civilians.
Mahmoud, we did ask about, we've talked at length about your views, of course, on the Palestinians, but it is fair to ask you about whether you condemn Hamas, because the Trump administration has claimed that you are a Hamas sympathizer. So it's very important to actually ask that question in this broad conversation.
Yeah, I simply asked and protested the war in Palestine.
Nope. I think we got some more on this. Stephen Miller says this is another judicial coup. Congress stripped courts of jurisdiction over immigration cases, and yet district court judges are suspending Article 1 and Article 2 to force us to keep foreign terrorist sympathizers in our nation. No, that's got to end. That's got to end. I think there's another one here. Listen to this one here.
Unsuccessful in deporting him. He met with progressive Democrats.
The reason why I want to show you this one is we've talked about Democrats looking for their identity. They have lost their identity. They are out of touch with the voters. It seems like they're going the loudest voice in the Democrat parties, the extreme left, the Code Pinks of the world, the jihadist supporters, the AOC Bernie Sanders. Now you got this communist running for New York City mayor. And so they seem to be latching on to the extremists. And this is just another example right here. Take a listen to this.
A student and anti-Israel activist Mahmoud Khalil met with D.C. lawmakers today on Capitol Hill. Khalil for trying to undermine U.S. relations with Israel, but ultimately the Trump administration was unsuccessful in deporting him. He met with progressive Democrats, Summer Lee, who posted this: "Our institution should not fuel an authoritative regime by suppressing dissent, and we must continue fighting back." So he is in Washington, D.C., and we understand he was just on a network where he said he's meeting with lawmakers who supported him during his detention.
He's meeting with lawmakers that supported him during his detention. That's going to be the party of extremism. And now we're going to get into a little bit of alligator Alcatraz. I just love it. Again, illegal aliens, we covered it. We've been covering it for a few days. Illegal aliens should be in 5-star hotels. That's the service they got under Biden. Some of the nicest hotels in New York and around the country. That's what our illegal aliens were staying. Their food, if they didn't like their food, they were given food credits to go out and buy what they wanted. And listen to this. I just love this one here. It says, new reporting reveals the conditions at Alligator Alcatraz. His hands and feet were then painfully shackled, and he was put in a 4x4 foot square in the recreation yard that he said the guards called the box. He says he was directly in the Everglades sun and heat for several hours with no water. Crimea River. These people, I'm not going to have any sympathy for this. If you are in this country illegally, you know what our administration done? They've been more than generous. You can self-deport, and they're actually going to give you a plane ticket home and $1,000 when you arrive there. So don't cry to me and act like, oh, Trump's bluffing, Trump's this. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. If you don't want to go through this, just like Americans that break the law, they're not in the nicest facilities. I've seen a lot of folks that have been in jail that's told me about it. I've seen the inside of a holding cell at Fresno County. It is not beautiful by any stretch of the imagination. It's one of the nastiest places I had ever been, and the people in there were nasty. And good reason to not go back, right? How about this one? How about this one? I love this one. A man at Alligator Alcatraz was put outside in the hot sun and eaten by mosquitoes for 3 hours while he begged to go inside. Why? For attempting a hunger strike. No one should be treated this way. It's the violation of the most basic human rights and dignity. I think this is great. Again, you don't have to go to Alligator Alcatraz. You don't have to be detained by ICE. You can self-deport, guys. I'm sorry if that hurts your feeling, but this is what America's voted for. This is what Donald Trump ran on, was mass deportations, not what Democrats are trying to say. Well, we're going to see who's a major criminal. No, if you're a criminal at all, that means if you came over across illegally. Because, and the reason why we've made it to this is because Democrats protecting child rapists, drug dealers, human traffickers, and you say, no, they didn't. Well, yes, SB 54 is the California law, sanctuary state law, where if ICE puts a detainer on someone that just got arrested for molesting a child, guess what? That jail can contact ICE and say, hey, we're going to hold them for you for 4 hours so you guys can pick them up. Nope. Those people get returned on the streets. Our ICE officers has to go on the streets, look for these people. And in the meantime, when they find people that didn't molest a girl but are here illegally, that is the collateral damage that you will see happening. And I think it's 70% have additional crimes more than just entering the country illegally. Or how about this one? New video reveals the inside of a New York City federal building where migrants are being held in inhumane conditions. The Trump admin has denied it's a detention site. Men say they are held in the overcrowded room for days and at a time without access to food or medical care, which we know is a lie. But there's video of this room, and this looks much better than the holding cells at Fresno County Jail. Just going to tell you that now. Let me show you.
No, mira, estaba volviendo aquí en el baño, un beta, no, qué chingo más ni conoces. El sueño americano, migración, 26 Federal Plaza.
Did they think that was going to sway the needle on anybody? No, they're looking at that and said, well, after a couple, I could see why people were upset after a couple years of being put in 4-star hotels and having your glamorous meals provided by the taxpayer. Yeah, that might be a little hard. How about this one right here? Alex Padilla, California senator, unfortunately my senator, who is an open borders, anti-American advocate. Listen to what he says here. Listen to what he says here.
The fact that a large number of undocumented immigrants in the United States actually entered the United States lawfully and are only currently undocumented because they overstayed their visa.
So they violated our federal immigration laws.
Or maybe they entered the country following the rules of the temporary protected status programs outlined by prior administrations.
Do you see what he said? Temporary protection status. He's talking about the folks that got temporary protection status in 1995, 26 years ago. And Trump is removing that temporary protection status. It was temporary. It was not permanent protection status. But again, he's trying to use, he's making himself look like a fool.
But protections that have been removed, turning a legal immigrant into an undocumented immigrant. You won't hear them share those facts.
We've actually heard them share those facts Trump won another court case last night, actually, stating that he can remove temporary protection status. So he's not breaking the law. And again, temporary is temporary. How about this one? We talk about this all the time. This is Border Patrol. This is Homeland Security shared this out. This is a Border Patrol agent talking about what they did. When we were down there filming them, we told you it was a babysitting gig. You need water, you need a sandwich, you just broke into the country, let's pamper you. And this is what he said on Capitol Hill. Take a listen to this.
So what had happened is Border Patrol was basically turned in from an enforcement agency into a babysitting and agency. They were tied up on the border, actually processing people to get them into this country as fast as possible. Friends of mine in Border Patrol said they would get in trouble for not processing enough people into the country in a timely manner. And what that did was that left our borders wide open for people to come through and to bring stuff through. But I will tell you that during that time period, slave trade outpaced narcotics as far as the revenue that the government was aware of that the cartels made. And so that's one of the problems that we're seeing now is this was not an immigration issue. This was a slave trade issue. These people were brought here by the cartels because we ceded our authority of the border from the U.S. government to the cartels. And they brought those people here and put them into indentured servitude. And I've seen that firsthand. We have imported millions upon millions of people. We have put them in a peon class, and they are now trying to pay off their debts to their masters. They are beholden to workplaces, whether it be in a farm, whether it be in a kitchen, whether it be at the hotel, or whether it be unloading 18-wheeler loads of dope or moving different product or killing people. They are beholden to the cartels to do whatever it is they are told to do by the cartels and their affiliate organizations. And that's a direct result of the last 4 years.
Well, we exposed it all. We exposed it all. And we're not slowing down. Listen to the press secretary right now.
By millions of illegal aliens. President Trump inherited a complete mess from Joe Biden in the previous administration. And it's alarming to me that there were people in positions of power in this big, beautiful White House behind me for 4 years who just sat back and watched as our country was invaded by millions of illegal aliens from countries all over the world, many of them known terrorists, murderers, rapists, and drug dealers who made their way into American communities and were taking the lives of law-abiding American citizens who were raping and beating young girls like Jocelyn Nungare in Texas, or taking the lives of young women like Laken Riley in Georgia. And the people in this White House, including President Biden, heard those stories and did nothing to stop them. But that's why President Trump was reelected with an overwhelming mandate to secure our border and to conduct the largest mass deportation operation in American history. The Trump administration has been doing that. We have already deported tens of thousands of illegal alien criminals from our country. And because of the One Big Beautiful Bill, which was signed and passed in a historic fashion in breakneck speed, ICE and Border Patrol will now have a historic amount of funding to have more resources to remove these public safety threats from our country and make America safe again. It will take more time to do it, but this administration and this president are not going to rest until all of these illegal alien criminals are deported from our country. We must be a nation of laws or America will cease to exist. And this is a law and order president.
That he is. That he is. Again, nobody is above the law until the laws are enforced. What they meant to say is no Republicans above the law, no conservatives above the law. They made that mistake for the last 4 years. Listen to Letitia James. She's actually asked about the Border Patrol agent who was shot by illegal aliens, and you can guess already how she responded. Not with dignity or any support for our law enforcement. Again, Democrats have put illegal aliens ahead of all American citizens, all our law enforcement, above everything. It's like illegal aliens, Stephen Colbert, and I got to figure out what the third one is, but we'll figure it out. Take a listen.
Voters make a distinction, a lot of them, and the polls show it, between undocumented immigrants without criminal records, people you're talking about, and those who have them, right? Especially in these extreme cases, like we look at in this case in New York City. But to that point, in this case, why should those voters think that this is something other than the system not working? I mean, if you're talking about waiting for comprehensive immigration reform, I've been in Washington for 20 years, and they've been trying for a long time. It doesn't happen, right? So why, in the case of cities taking a step and states taking a step, is this an example where there could be that coordination instead of waiting decades for Congress to act?
At the outset, I indicated to you that, in fact, New York State and other Democratic states cooperate with ICE when it comes to criminal convictions. But when it comes to innocent individuals who serve as your nanny, who clean your home, individuals who are our neighbors, individuals who unfortunately are just trying to make ends meet.
Both of these individuals had multiple arrests after deportation orders. Why are those not opportunities?
And that is why in the state of New York, when it comes to individuals, as you indicated, individuals with criminal convictions, then we cooperate with ICE. But it's important that we make a distinction between those individuals with criminal convictions and those individuals, again, who are just trying to make ends meet each and every day. And the vast majority of individuals who are being secreted and kidnapped at night are individuals who, again, are facing civil deportation and not criminal enforcement. It's important that we make a distinction. It's important that individuals understand that individuals are being caught up in these ICE raids, innocent individuals, students, teachers, small businesses. We all want the same thing, and that is to protect individuals from harm. But unfortunately, what we are seeing is mass ICE agents without any insignia, without any identification, kidnapping innocent individuals that both you and I know.
Again, dodge the question. Those people that shot at that officer had been arrested multiple times, released on $0 bail, never handed over to ICE. That's why we have an officer that is fighting for his recovery in the hospital right now. She didn't, no prayers out to that officer, nothing. It's absolutely disgusting. These people protect illegal aliens over American citizens. You pull me up a video where she's focused on American citizens, I'll do a dance on the live stream, because you're not going to find one. How about this one? We wanted to show you this as a little bit of a win here. We all know that we have these activist people suing governments and bringing all these lawsuits to try to delay, trying to obstruct the process of making America first. But there was a great win here. Take a look at this. It says federal judge dismisses lawsuit, hands decisive victory to Wyoming Secretary of State Chuck Gray on election integrity. It says on July 22nd, United States District Court Judge Scott dismissed a federal lawsuit filed by Equality State Policy Center through its attorney, guess who? Mark Elias, against Wyoming Secretary of State Chuck Gray, challenging Wyoming's House Bill 156, which requires proof of the United States citizenship and proof of Wyoming residency to register to vote. It says, I'm extremely pleased with the court's ruling granting our motions to dismiss this outrageously wrong lawsuit, Secretary Gray said. This is a huge win for the people of Wyoming. Proof of citizen for registering to vote is common sense. They are trying to do this everywhere. We are working in California. I think it might pass. I don't know. It depends what propaganda the Democrats put out there, but we are working to put voter ID on the ballot here. And we're going to be following some of those rallies and doing some of that stuff when that starts ramping up. It's just, but what a win. I mean, to think somebody would say, oh, you shouldn't have to prove you're a citizen to vote in this country is just ridiculous. And then they say, well, you're racist if you say citizens should have to have an ID. And then you go talk to the people they're talking about, which they, again, Democrats think black people are incapable of doing anything. Again, the color of your skin don't make a difference. What makes a difference is your attitude, your work, your ethics. That's what makes a difference. And there isn't a different colored person that's any less capable than the opposite color person. But Democrats don't feel that way, unfortunately. Todd Blanche put this out here. This has to do with the U.S. Attorney Haba, the one that we covered a little while ago, that the judges voted not to keep her as U.S. Attorney, and she has not been confirmed by the Senate yet. And it's in response to Attorney General Pam Bondi's statement on this. It says, U.S. Attorney Haba has been doing a great job in making New Jersey safe again. Nonetheless, politically minded judges refuse to allow her to continue in her position, replacing Alina with the first assistant. Accordingly, the first assistant United States attorney in New Jersey has just been removed. The Department of Justice does not tolerate rogue judges, especially when they threaten the president's core Article 2 powers. And then you have Todd Blanche, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. It says the district judges in New Jersey just proved this was never about law. It was about politics. They forced out President Trump's pick, Lena Haba, then installed her deputy, colluding with the New Jersey senators along the way. It won't work. Pursuant to the president's authority, we have removed the deputy effective immediately. This backroom vote will not override the authority of the chief executive. This is going to heat up. This is going to be interesting. Man, there's always something, right? Let's see if anything else popped up. And you know, all the evidence we've been seeing under Obama, this video popped up. We're kind of jumping around right now because I remember this video. And take a listen to this. He calls Obama, Hillary, and Biden engaged in a coup. Listen.
And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, 2 minutes. So when I listened to Joe talking about a transition, there's been no transition from when I won. I won that election. And if you look at crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people, there was no transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won, from the day I came down the escalator with our first lady. They were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the idea for the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that because we caught you in a sense. And President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it too. So don't tell me about a free transition. 2 minutes. So when I listened to Joe talking about
those days, let's see. Let me
a transition.
Let's see if anything else is popping up. Let's see. There's another one from Trump. Let me pull this up on the screen. Another massive win for America. We just completed a massive deal with Trump, perhaps the largest deal ever made. Japan will invest, at my direction, $550 billion into the United States, which will receive 90% of the profits. This deal will create hundreds of thousands of jobs. There has never been anything like it. Perhaps most importantly, Japan will open their country to trade, including cars, trucks, rice, and certain other agricultural products and other things. Japan will pay a reciprocal tariff to the United States of 15%. This is very exciting time for the United States of America. especially for the fact that we will continue to always have a great relationship with the country of Japan. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Man, they are on it today. What else do we got here? See if anything, I'm not seeing, let me hit this one more time. All right, well, I don't see anything else that was breaking. This is going to be conspiracy everywhere. This is going to be a conspiracy everywhere, folks. Yeah, you guys ready? Breaking, Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, Roy Black, has died. Oh, man, I can't wait to hear. We're going to cover that in the morning. Prayers to his family. It doesn't say what he died. Let me see if anybody is putting what he died of. Breaking, famous lawyer who represented Jeffrey Epstein is now dead. Roy Black was one of Jeffrey Epstein's criminal defense attorneys when he was charged with federal sex trafficking charges. Palm Beach County State Attorney Barry Krischer allowed the notorious sex trafficker to plead to misdemeanor charges. Age 80. So we'll see what else we get on that. Let's pull this back up, go to the top here.
Today on Capitol Hill.
I'm not seeing, I've seen some rumors about some stuff. Let me see if it's even true. It doesn't appear true. I looked at it before. No, it would be breaking news. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the show today. I'm going to have some awesome tacos tonight. We got a new little Mexican joint that just opened up. Today's their grand opening down the street. And I spoke with the owners about a week and a half ago because it was right next to our yogurt shop. So they're having some tacos, some pretty big tacos for $1.85 a piece. So I told Rach, we got to go down there. And this could be my new lunch and dinner place. You know me and tacos. So I want to say thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't hit that like button, please hit the like button, share out. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. If anything breaks, I will hit live later when we get home. And just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. All your support. If you want to help us out, we are 100% viewer funded. It's your donations that pay for the lights, camera, action. And we could always use your support. So you can head over to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army. We also have givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And if you do mobile or online banking and want to do a Zelle transfer to us, our Zelle address is on our website. Our website is theoreoexpress.com. And you can click on the homepage, scroll down, you'll see the Donate Now button, and it'll have that link in there. So once again, thank you all so much for everything, and we appreciate you more than you know.
The Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100. Dream bed sheet says any size, any color. So go to mypillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.